The two IUPUI Motorsports teams which entered the Grand Prix took both first and second place.
Team number 2 for IUPUI won the 160-lap race, together with Jared Thomas supporting the wheel and Grayson Hindbaugh leading the team in the pits. Team number 1 came in a close second, with Brenton Butler forcing the kart and Brendan Johnson as team leader.
"We definitely didn't have the fastest car," Thomas said. "My teammate Brenton had some speed there, but we just kept our nose clean and had lady luck on our side. Everyone always talks about keeping your nose clean. It seems I was the only one to practice that today."
Driver Wyatt Dalmberg led Triangle Racing Team A to a third-place finish, with Jared Thayer running the crew. In fourth place was Purdue Club Baseball, led by driver Garrett Pferrer and crew chief Jason Ferguson. Next was Phi Delta Theta, which brought along a huge fan base. Upon driver William Bennett's fifth-place finish, his supporters hoisted him up and carried him on their shoulders with pride. Philippe Sesko was the crew chief for Phi Delta Theta in the race. Bennett explained that they had been training for the Grand Prix all year.
"I started last summer," Bennett said. "We ran a bunch of races in the fall too. I barely slept, but it was definitely worth it. This is the happiest I've been in a while."
Driver Matthew Guido had his team, Honors College Racing Crew, in the top 5 for most of the time. He even held the number 2 position for about 25 laps, but fell out of the top 5 with only a few laps to go after a lengthy pit visit. Crew chief for HCRC was Aditya Desai.
For the first time ever, the Purdue Society of Women Engineers had 2 female engineering student drivers in the race. Emma Messman drove the car for team number 1 and Kate Halber drove for team number 2. Veronica Blair was the crew chief for Messman's team and Juhi Kekre was the crew chief for Halber's team. For about 90 of the 160 laps, IUPUI Motorsports team number 1 was in the lead. Butler fell behind in the race after a few slow turns on the track. To make things worse for him, shortly after those challenging turns, he had a lengthy visit to the pit. The delays saw him fall out of the top 5 for a short time before returning around the 130th lap of the race.
Once Butler lost his positioning, Thomas took the lead and never looked back. He was able to hold the spot for 70 laps, and toward the end held a 3-lap lead over the second-place driver.
At the end of the tough 160 laps, Thomas and IUPUI Motorsports Club walked away with the Champions Trophy and the milk in the 61st Annual Purdue Grand Prix.